Okay, so for supplies, I'll go over my supplies. I'm using Fabriano. I have 100% cotton cold pressed paper. This is the bright white one, the purple one. It's a block. I'll go over my paints as I use them. We're going to play with an acrylic palette knife. Yep, or oil paint palette knife. And you can get this basic palette knife anywhere, any store. And we're just going to have fun with that. You need to have a spray bottle, of course, and of course some paint brushes, some paper towels, and all that good stuff. So if you use 2 paints like I do with holbein, you can take this wonderful little palette knife. And I'm going to take some burnt sienna, and I'm actually going to grab a different color like sepia, maybe some Van Dyke brown. I just had my sepia right here. Oh, here we go. Playing with these kind of fall kind of tones. And we'll just take it really thick paint. Go across a little bit. And here's the sepia and the burnt sienna. Just going across like this a little bit. Just across this whole section right here. Just going to wipe this. And I'll grab some cadmium yellow deep. And I'm just going to tap a little bit here and there. This is so much fun when you're doing abstracts. Okay, and then we're going to use our spray bottle and see what happens. We're going to turn it, kind of like flip it too. We're going to spray it. Hopefully it cooperates. There we go. Get that really wet. Look at that. It's already looking cool, right? You can kind of twist it this way and you got these spider looking things. And this is where you grab a brush. Now, you might want to just not grab just an ordinary brush. I'm going to grab an acrylic fan brush. Not a watercolor one, an acrylic, like a bristle one. And we're going to take some water on there. And we're going to play with just moving the paint upward. Look at that. Very cool. Just tapping and grabbing the paint from below, moving it upward. Getting this really kind of cool look. And then we're going to clean up the brush and do the same thing going downward. Just like so. Now we got a lot of streaks there. We can play with grabbing a flat wash brush at this point. And this is a 3/4 inch from Princeton. Very puddly paint here. And I really just want to get rid of some of this color here. I just grab some water. Just grab it. We can even take a paper towel. My dog. I kind of play with just lifting the paper off the paper a little bit. Lighting it, making it much lighter. We got a big puddle happening here. We can kind of go like play like this a little bit and move the paint around. Right? And kind of just, I don't like those streaks there, so we can kind of just manipulate those and get those out of there too. Same thing with this. I'm just going to grab my paper towel and we're just manipulating it with the brush now. So it's fun. You just kind of put that palette knife down and you can still kind of manipulate the watercolor. It's kind of like what will happen if you put the paint there with that palette knife, right? And again, I like the fan brush. It's a bristle brush just because it's more stiff and you can kind of create some cool lines with it, which is kind of fun. Now I'm kind of dry brushing this downward. I know I did it earlier and took off some paint, but now I'm going to do it again. And if I could just crisscross with this, play with this a little bit more, moving some of that paint. It's really kind of thick in those areas, right? And then I play with removing some of it again. You can also tippy tap, like turn your paper towel this way and that way and create a nice little funky texture. We'll just go straight down. It's already creating kind of really cool trees back here. And I'll grab my flat wash brush again. Just again, lift up some of this streaky little lines. We want to go back in and add some like really cool trees. So while it's still damp, you can try and bleed some more colors if you want. Grab any kind of brush you have. So I like the yellow, but maybe if you wanted to add some orange, I grabbed some cadmium red light in the yellow and mix some orange in there. Or even just more cadmium red light. I'm just tapping the color. Remember, it's an abstract. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just tippy tapping some of this color in here. And we can play with moving it, blending. If it's not moving, well, we can turn it upside down and grab the spray bottle and it will move. See, and we get this moving, tilting, funky. It looks like a one-line tree, so of course I'm gonna have to add more color and then tilt it again. Just a fun way to make some fall-looking abstracts. Get that burnt sienna, the sienna color, not burnt sienna. Gonna play with that. Just tapping and twisting and turning. Ooh, that's a big old mark. Grab some water there and moving that around. That's interesting. Moving that back around. It's like playing with the wet sand and stuff. Go back up here, move that color. Oh, that looks like fun. I just love this part, right? With the trees. You can take a credit card, kind of scrape up some lines where some trees would be. And now what happens is it's very wet. The paint goes and seeps into where the scrapes are. And make some little branches where trees would be. We'll add some trees in a bit once it's dry. But it just helps figure out where they're going to go. I'm loving this whole thing here, and I do want to just take out that hard edge here. So I'll go back with my flat wash brush real quick and just kind of wiggle, do a little scraping and blending back here. So I don't have a super hard edge. Just wanted to soft blend out this way. Same thing with the ones up here. Although I don't really mind it if it does stay that way. It won't be a problem. Trying to create a nice soft blend out here. And even down here I can kind of pick up some of the paint. Okay, now we have to let it dry. We're going to go back in and put in some nice tree branches, but really kind of simple, playing with the paint, moving it around, tilting it. I love how we leave this pigment that's like these little dots in here from the first round with the palette knife. Super fun. So I'm going to let this dry and come back. Now that it's dry, I'm taking a brush. This is a brush I picked up in Japan. Just kind of a cool bamboo, maybe calligraphy brush. But you can use a thin brush. And now we have the guide from our scrapes. And I'm using the sepia color here. Might add a little Daniel Smith Lunar Black to get even darker. And just making the branches like so. Really kind of small and thin. Connecting. You can make the tree a little bit thicker. We're just doing these little skinny old branches coming off. And get some really cool looks for a fall type of abstract. Now we can add some leaves or ground below. I just love using these. Oh, you could use a liner brush, by the way, if you don't have something like this. I love a liner brush. It's fun to use. I like this one because it can do really thin lines and it can get in there and it'll get a little bit thicker on the bottom. That's the fun part of it. Just making some fun branches. And it didn't take much effort at all, right? It was fun. You can play with this so many different ways. Just moving the paint color, taking the brush, making some fun trees. You can just do a couple of trees, more in a vignette style, maybe around some rocks. I'll put another one back here, kind of thicker, connecting, and have the branches kind of go outward, crossing over to the other ones. And have some small ones too, like they're all kind of the same height. Maybe have some smaller ones in the background, little teeny tiny ones. Variety is the spice. Get a little boring with the same old type tree. Little guys kind of going that way. Already I'm loving it, right? And then for the ground, just take whatever brush you have. I might go with and grab some more sepia here. I'm using the Princeton 12 Aqua Elite. I'm just going to do a little dry brushing. Not too much though. You could even take the palette knife and go there. I want to keep this kind of where it is. It looks like it's going in back in the field. Mixing some colors. Don't want to play with it too much. Just giving a little bit of ground back here. And that's kind of it. Just some dry brushing. Little landmarks. I'm loving this whole texture thing that happened in here. Can add some grass with this color. And maybe, you know, because we have the orange, grab some orange or even yellow, and you can just kind of do a bit of like leaves have all fallen down. Just tapping a little bit here and there, especially over here. But that's it. It's a super simple, easy, abstract. You know, oh, I have a little watermark here. What do you do with that when that happens? Oh, you have to play around with that. I can kind of lift a little bit the color. Move the paint around. And then go back in and just fix that. There are so many ways to play around with the watercolor. I don't mind a little splotch. I'll fill it in with a little color. It's like it never happened. And just kind of blend it. And there you go. Super fun, super easy, quick, abstract, fall painting. Like I said, you could put a fence in here. You could all kinds of fun stuff. And if you wanted to use some leaves, but I kind of didn't want to leave it like that. I just want to have the leaves kind of empty and gone. But it really took like minimal time. Super fun. Something to do when you're like, frustrated, I don't know what to paint. Just play around with things like this with color and texture. Just simple trees. Maybe just learning how to do branches, right? If you don't have that kind of brush, use a liner brush. These are great for all kinds of branches. Let me grab my liner brush just to show you. Makes amazing little branches coming off. Really, really skinny ones. That's what's great about a liner brush. You can make really teeny tiny branches all day long. All right, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.